real problem when it comes to the educational system here in the country. It is the problem of Thanaweyya Amma. The general atmosphere prevailing of students and their parents of Thanaweyya Amma actually is very tense during these days, and anxiety and anger has prevailed among students as well as parents. And the parents asserted that this year leaking the exams out is the reason why all students are alike, no matter if they studied or not. And parents as well as students affirmed that they think that the Ministry of Education should be very careful in not allowing the leaking of the exams prior to its due time. Of course, the stress and the anger of Thanaweyya Amma, as I mentioned, has been prevailing for decades, but this year with the leakage of the exams, it even added insult to injury. So in order to discuss this issue further, we are very much delighted to have with us here in the studio Dr. Aliaa El-Dardery. She is Career Development Coach. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Aliaa. Dr. Aliaa, as Hala just mentioned, that Thanaweyya Amma is a big hassle for all the students and for their parents as well. So why Thanaweyya Amma is that a big hassle? Although we do see with other certificates which are equivalent to Thanaweyya Amma, we do not see the same issues here.
Yes. Well, as Hala said, it's been prevailing for decades or centuries, for a long time, because parents believe that this phase is very critical in the life of their kids or their children, because it's, in the parents' point of view, it is the step that decides the whole future of the son or the daughter. And this is unfortunately not true, because in my job I face a lot of clients who are graduates of pharmacy, engineering and medicine, and they are actually seeking career shift.
Indeed.
So this is frustrating, because after long years of studying and long years of hard work, they are thinking of this shift. But the parents have major role in this problem, and I believe that they have a major role in solving this problem by just comforting their kids and reframing the situation. Because high school or Thanaweyya Amma is, yes, it's a critical step in developing the kid or the person, but it's not the end of the road. It's not the end of the education. Parents should comfort their kids. They should motivate them to achieve whatever the kid or the child wants, not what the parent wants. Because usually parents are seeking to have their children like them, which is a sort of bias, so they keep pushing them and stressing them to not to study, just to be like them. So parents have a lot of things to do when it comes to helping their children deciding what they want to do in terms of what the vision is, and not, again, it's not the parents' vision, but the person or the student's vision. Because as I said, student can want to, or the student wants to be, for example, an actor or a singer. Sometimes the parent sees this as impractical or improper, so they keep pushing them towards another field of study, and the student is not motivated to study, and so the problem at this very specific point happens, because there is a conflict between the parent and the child. The child doesn't want to study this, not refusing to study in general, but the parent fails to identify whatever the student wants, and here comes the problem.
Dr. Aliaa, as you have said now, that we do see some graduates from big universities like medicine, like Faculty of Engineering or whatsoever, and after long years of study, we do see a major shift in career. Maybe a doctor go to be a sales or a marketing or to work in a very different field. So how do you justify that? Was that a bad or wrong decision, or it was a pressure from the parents? How do you evaluate that?
This is a very good question, because there are a lot of reasons behind this desire to shift. Sometimes the person is forced to enter this field, as I've mentioned earlier, due to pressure from the parent, sometimes it's a normal process of the development of the person, because I wouldn't have known that, for example, I'm good at sales unless I've tried marketing and I did not succeed in that, so I tried sales and then decided to shift, and so on. So it comes either by experience, or even the reason is that we are accustomed to certain things in society. So for example, if I get above 90% in the high school, then by default I should be considering medicine, engineering, pharmacy, and those colleges. Especially it is in Egypt, as Hala said, this is the norm. While in fact it's not, because we can see that maybe a physician or an engineer not successful in their own field, but then when they shift to another one, for example, like sales, maybe even business, like opening a restaurant or something, and this has been
they might
trendy.
be more successful.
Yes, of course, because this is their passion. This is the area or the field where they excel and where they have skills and motive to work, and that's why we say passion is very important. If you are passionate about what you are doing, then I promise that you'll be successful as long as you do your homework, you have the skills, you have the knowledge, then you'll definitely be shining. Other than that, you'll be just a normal person in the normal life cycle.
Dr. Aliaa, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is my personal opinion. I think that Thanaweyya Amma is just the top of a pyramid of problems that involves social aspects, economic aspects, cultural aspects, and before we look into solving the problem of Thanaweyya Amma, we need to look into solving all these problems first. So I guess it's going to take decades even more to work on it. If we're talking about the social aspect, people of lower social standard want their children, or see that if their children join what they call the top faculties, such as the Faculty of Medicine and Engineer, this would raise this would upgrade their social standard, regardless of whether the students are into it or not. Okay, from believe that vocational training is not good. It's not good enough. You shouldn't work as a carpenter or a plumber or a constructor. You should work as what they call a good profession. Even though such professions don't pay off later, because we see many doctors working with low salaries at the end of the day.
Unfortunately,
Okay, there are famous doctors who make good fortunes, but
not all of them.
Not all of them. This is so we work on the mentalities of the people. Also, another problem is that many families tend to give their children private lessons because they don't believe in the educational system, because they don't believe that they are getting enough information from school, and this takes us to even another layer of the pyramid.
Yes.
How do you see that?
Well, this is very deep, because yes, the problem is not one layer, it's multi-layered. You have mentioned a lot of aspects contributing to the whole problem. The issue of private lessons, it's not because they do not believe in the educational system, but because they believe that this private instructor or teacher would give their children the secret to succeed in the exam, not even to know the subject itself or the science itself. So what we are working on, and we are trying very hard to do now, is to spread the awareness among the population about the importance of the vocational training, because not everyone can be doctor. We need these carpenters and plumbers. We need them. This is from one side.
You can make good money, by the way.
Exactly. This is the second side of it, because you can be very successful in whatever you're doing, and by the end of the day, what is your objective behind working? You have to decide what your vision is. Why do you wake up every morning and get very early, put your makeup and put your clothes? Is it for money? Might be. Is it for being satisfied? Is it for learning something new? This is what we call in our profession career values. As long as you have these career values very clear in front of you, you'll be able to to motivate yourself and to direct yourself wherever you want to go. So for example, maybe the doctor who graduated from Faculty of Medicine, one of his major career values is learning something new. So by the end of his studying, he'll be motivated to learn more. But on the contrary, if this person is not very into learning new things and is seeking money and quick money, then definitely when he works as a doctor, he will not be satisfied. Otherwise, he might go for illegal actions. And this is what we don't, of course, want in our careers. So yes, it's very important. Parents shouldn't be pushing their kids for studying whatever the parent wants. Parents shouldn't encourage the student to go for private lessons. And parents, again, shouldn't be forcing the kid towards a certain field. They should be focusing on the success and satisfaction of the person. And this is the ultimate goal for career coaching that we do. And this should be the ultimate goal for any person who is seeking a healthy career life, which is part of the whole life cycle. Because you shouldn't be 100% focused on career, you shouldn't be 100% not focused on career. So it has to have this balance. Yes.
Dr. Aliaa, some parents who are doctors or lawyers or whatsoever are pressuring their kids to follow their career in order to keep the clinic or to keep the hospital or the firm, whatever.
Again, it's a cultural thing.
Yes.
So how do you see that, and to what extent that is exerting pressure on the student or on the son or daughter?
Well, let me first put myself in the shoes of the parent. Definitely, I have invested a lot of money in building my clinic or my lawyer's office. So the first person to come in mind is my son or my daughter. But again, this son or daughter, when working in this office, can lead to its failure. So as a parent, I have to be aware of this fact, and I have to be aware that whatever best for my son or daughter is that they are successful and satisfied in whatever they're doing. So I have to shift my mentality. And to answer your question, what kind of pressure this is doing, it's of course exerting a lot of stress and tension and pressure on the kid, because they are kind of split between achieving or wanting to achieve whatever their passion leads them to, and to satisfy or to please the parent. By the end of the day, staying in this indecisive situation leads to nowhere. And this is the problem, and this again answers your first question: why do people after studying for 7 or 8 years shift careers? Exactly.
What about leaking the exams? Because this led to, I mean, a shock in the society, and many parents were actually angered by what happened, and split opinions regarding what should happen. How do you see that?
As you said, let's see the core of the problem. What caused the leakage of the exams? And I'm not talking, of course, about the security issues. I'm talking about the causes that led to this leakage. Because parents or students are very much worried and tensed about the exams, and they want to succeed in this exam and not to acquire knowledge. So we have to correct this, this part of you are studying because you are acquiring knowledge, not because you want to succeed. And the problem, again, they want to get high grades in this, only to be able to join the college that their parents want them to. And let me tell you the truth, I believe that leakage occurred due to, or occurred with the help of some parents.
Of course, of course.
So, so again, why would a parent teach their kids such illegal action, such unethical action? So it's again because of the whole
the whole system is corrupt.
Yes, I don't actually like using the word corrupt, because we we actually participate in this corruption.
But it's yes, but it's true. But actually, it needs a lot of fixing, and I believe people like you would work on raising the awareness, Dr. Aliaa, because this is very important.
Yes.
For talking about changing the mentality and finding the real reasons for the problem and working on solving them. We need to work on grassroots level.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Dr. Aliaa El-Dardery, Career Development Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us in this edition of The Breakfast Show. You were in the company of my colleague, Mayesti Rabia, and myself, Hamid Hamlawi, and we are both signing off.